Getting into the Ivy League is already tough, but as an international student, it's even tougher. I know this firsthand. I'm actually from South Africa and I got into Brown University and the University of Pennsylvania. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you 3 powerful tips that can increase your chances of getting accepted into the Ivy League as an international student. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to stand out from thousands of other applicants and maximize your chances of getting in. So let's get started. So before we jump into the tips, let's quickly explain what the Ivy League actually is, because a lot of people misunderstand it. The Ivy League isn't just a group of the best universities. It actually started as an athletic conference. So basically you can think of it as a sports league. And it was a sports league for 8 prestigious schools in the northeastern United States. But over time, these schools actually became famous for their academics and their powerful alumni networks. And this is what led to people thinking about the Ivy League as these prestigious institutions that are the gold standard for education. Now there's actually 8 Ivy League schools: Harvard University, Yale University, Princeton University, Columbia University, University of Pennsylvania, Dartmouth College, Brown University, and Cornell University. So all these schools are actually located in the northeastern part of the United States. Now these schools are known for their low acceptance rates, strong financial aid packages, and incredible opportunities. I can attest to all of these because going to the Ivy League definitely opens up a lot of career opportunities. So many doors get open with an Ivy League degree, and this attracts a lot of people to try and get into them. But it is not easy. So let's talk about how you can increase your chances as an international student. So the first tip I want to give you is that your story matters more than your grades. Now, a lot of people think that to get into the Ivy League, you just need the perfect grades and a high SAT score. But that's actually not true. A lot of people with perfect SAT scores and perfect grades get rejected by Ivy Leagues each and every single year. Having said that, it is true that strong academics are important, but not as important as your story. This is because thousands of students have top grades, but what the Ivy League really wants is a student with a unique and powerful story. So for this tip, the best Ivy League applications actually tell a compelling story that makes the admission officer say, "We definitely need this student at our school." So for example, instead of just saying, "I got a 4.0 GPA and a perfect SAT score," you'd want to say something along the lines of, "I launched a financial literacy program in my community to help students from low-income backgrounds manage their money." As you can see, that story will set you apart. It's much more powerful than just saying, "I have a 4.0 GPA and I have a perfect SAT score." These institutions want people with powerful stories, and a story such as launching a financial literacy program will definitely get the attention of an admissions officer. So tip number 1, have a compelling story. Now for tip number 2, do one thing exceptionally well, not everything. A big mistake students actually make is trying to do everything. So what they'll do is they'll join 10 different clubs, they'll play 3 different sports, they'll be volunteering and learning 5 different languages, but this isn't what the Ivy League is actually looking for. The Ivy League isn't looking for students who are just average at everything. Instead, what they want is they want students who are exceptional at one thing. This is basically called having a spike, which is basically an area where you're so strong that you stand out. Now, let's actually go through some examples of strong spikes that you could use in your application. Let's look at academics. Maybe you're ranked number 1 in a math competition in your country. That is a spike, right? That is something that you can tell the admissions officer that, "Hey, look, I am ranked number 1 in this math competition in my country." that gives you a strong spike. But of course, not everybody has this for academics. So let's actually look at another spike for leadership. So for leadership, maybe you started a successful nonprofit that helps thousands of people. So that is a very powerful spike. If you as an individual have created an organization that's helping thousands of people, that is impressive. And admission officers are going to look at you very favorably. Now, let's say you're not into academics or you don't have leadership. Let's actually look at another spike that you could use, maybe in research. So maybe you have published a paper in a science journal at 16 years old. That's another spike. So you publishing a paper in a journal. It's a very, very big thing. So as a young individual, if that's your thing, if you like reading papers, maybe publish a paper in a journal, and that will be your spike. And there are more spikes. Let's look at one in entrepreneurship. Maybe you've built a startup or an app that people actually use. That is a spike, right? Because you're showing institutions that you have this entrepreneurial bug and you're taking action. So a lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but you're showing them that at a very young age, you're already becoming one. And these Ivy League institutions want individuals like that. People who are going to be changing the world. So, coming back to my tip, instead of spreading yourself too thin by focusing on many things, you should just focus on one thing that you're truly passionate about, and you should become world-class at that. So whatever it may be, if it's chess, if it's building apps, if it's entrepreneurship, if it's social causes, if it's content creation, you need to focus on whatever you're very passionate about and then bring that to the table when you're applying to these schools. Now, the third tip is a little bit more controversial, but you should apply to multiple Ivy League schools. So here's something that might surprise a lot of people. Just because you're rejected from one Ivy League school doesn't mean that another Ivy League school won't accept you. And basically what I mean by that is, even if you get rejected by 7 Ivy League schools, there might be one Ivy League school that actually says you're the perfect candidate for them. Now, this is because each Ivy League school has a different selection process and looks for different types of students. So, for example, Harvard might reject you, but UPenn might love your entrepreneurial experience. Another example could be like Princeton might say no, but Brown University might think you're a perfect fit for their culture and their campus. So the acceptance rates at these schools are so low that even incredible students get rejected. That's why you should apply to multiple Ivy League schools so that you can maximize your chances of getting in. Again, this is a numbers game. Even though you could be the perfect candidate, there are so many students that are applying to these schools that you could be overlooked at one school. So you want to make sure that you apply to multiple Ivy League schools so that you increase your chances of getting in. So those are the 3 tips that I have for you. Now, what I want to say is the Ivy League isn't for everyone, but if you have a unique and powerful story, you are exceptional in one area, and you have the ability to apply to multiple schools, then you should definitely apply to the Ivy League as an international student. I actually made a video on why you should be applying to the Ivy League as an international student, and I'll be putting that video somewhere up here. So definitely go and take a look at it so that you can understand why you should be applying to the Ivy League. Now, having said that, just remember, it's not just about grades when it comes to the Ivy League. The Ivy League is looking for students who will change the world. So you're going to have to show them how you'll be doing that. So I hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, definitely smash the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any more tips that I have on this channel. Now, I hope these tips have really helped you out, and I hope that you'll be applying to the Ivy League as a result of watching this video. Now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.